Today we're putting the legendary Hero4 Silver up against the Panasonic HC-X1000 HDR professional video camera to test the actual quality of the Hero when it's challenged against a real video camcorder. As I am speaking, I am also testing and comparing the built-in internal camera microphones as we switch between the two cameras. The Panasonic has a built-in stereo microphone while the Hero is a mono one channel. For this test, I just want to compare the highest HD quality between the two cameras and avoid the other settings since they cannot be identically matched up between the two cameras. I cannot do a fair comparative test in HDR because the Hero4 does not have the same HDR settings as the Panasonic X1000. The Hero4 will be set to a narrow view angle so it matches the Panasonic more precisely in wide angle mode. Of course, the Panasonic may have a higher bit rate and will be set to 100, which is the medium setting for 1920 by 1080 and 60 frames per second. Keep in mind the Panasonic is much more of an advanced camera with many more features, but we are downscaling it so we can get an accurate comparison to the Hero4 performance as a professional action cam.
In the left corner, weighing 3.5 pounds, is the Pro Camcorder Panasonic HC-X1000. And in the right corner, the lightweight legendary weight champ at 84 grams, GoPro Hero4 Silver.
Let's get ready to rumble!
Let's take a look at the full image of each camera in low light. Right away, I notice how much more noise the Hero4 is displaying, and especially it's noticeable in the darker areas of the image. The Panasonic X1000 has more adjusted colors and contrasts, but we are not going to compare this since the Hero can have the same adjustments during editing. We are looking for quality performance in various conditions to see if the Hero4 can capture a professional image as compared to more advanced cameras. X1000 proves here it has a better image sensor by the detail of the bright ceiling lamp. The GoPro loses this round for the amount of noise it displayed. Let's try it indoors with a mix of fluorescent lights and daylight. In this lighting, noise from the GoPro Hero4 is not noticeable anymore. Both cameras have a very similar image quality. Next, we jump outside and check out strong daylight, shadows, and sunlight. Again, the image sensor on the HC-X1000 is much better to capture bright light, as you can see the difference in the sun. Even though the saturation and contrast level is different on the HC-X1000, the overall image sharpness and clarity is the same. The GoPro Hero does a great job of capturing the image when the scene has enough light. Let's see how they both keep their focus as we move closer to the clock. There's no noticeable difference in sharpness at a close distance. Both cameras are able to expose the scene properly and not have the sky overexposed. The X1000 has the advantage here with its built-in motion stabilizer. It's able to keep the image just a bit steadier than the GoPro Hero. Here the black level or shadow detail is compatible between the two cameras. You can see more shake in the non-stabilized Hero in this clip. In some of the scenes, the white balance seems to be better in the GoPro Hero. The way the X1000 is set up, it creates more color bleed, as the Hero4 is not pushing its saturation limits. Close-up sharpness is about the same, but the X1000 has a strong red color bleed. In the 1920 by 1080 mode, both cameras look great in these well-lit scenes. The GoPro could easily be used as a second camera to the X1000 in a two-camera shoot, since they have almost the same quality. Here you can see how great the X1000 built-in image stabilizer performs. Moving from sunlight to shade, the facial image is lost on the X1000 and needs to be adjusted. The X1000 has a much richer contrast compared to the Hero4. Sharpness seems to be identical between the cameras, but the X1000 produces a much smoother image. Both of these two cameras, of course, have been designed for completely different purposes. The Hero4 Action Cam was made for sports action shots. The X1000 could never do what the Hero is capable of because of its tiny size and light weight. It's able to go where no camera has gone before. White balance on the Hero4 is much better than the X1000. And one last look at the shadow level. I cannot find any negative differences between the two cameras. Let's try a rolling shutter effect to see which camera has a smoother pan or will expose some problems. I'm just trying to quickly pan the camera left and right and look for the image to either bend or be jumpy or jittery. Let's switch over to the Hero4 that is mounted on a parallel bracket with the X1000 and see how that came out from the same test sequence. It looks like the X1000 is a bit smoother and more stable than the Gopro Hero. I think it may be easier to compare if we put both screens up at the same time and replay the scenes. Playing in real time, it's hard to really notice any difference between the two, and this gives the GoPro a thumbs up on this round. Finally, a time-lapse between the two cameras shows the same quality even though the GoPro Hero's lens was not set up properly to match the X1000. To summarize it up, I think the GoPro Hero 4 is a remarkable technological advancement for professional filmmaking. It can be used as a second camera for events and makes a superb action camera and travel companion. Please check out my other videos for more technical camera comparisons.